Okay, so the time is now 11:45 and I am extremely tired. It's the 1st of March, so I have about 14-ish days now to start preparing because the con is coming out relatively soon. So we gotta crunch as much as we can before the convention comes because it's gonna come soon. So let's hope we can get everything done. Let's do this.
Hi guys, so it's day 2 of March. We currently have about 12 days left to go until the actual convention. We have a couple of things left we have to finish up on. First off being the hat. We just have to fix the little specs on the hat. I will be getting that tomorrow and hopefully painting it the next day. We also have the blazer, the white blazer to fix with the button, and we also might have to modify the inner blue shirt. So that's the only things left that we really need to fix up. The accessories might be an additional just in case of timing, but for now, those are my main focuses, so let's hope we can get those done soon. We left the library. We got the pieces. Yeah! And we got a book. Book. Alright, now with the pieces finally at our disposal, it's time to get some paint. So we headed over to Daily Hobbies to grab some gold paint, and I honestly went with this one, which actually turned out really well. Check out what it looks like later with the paint actually on the pieces. After we took off the excess, it's time to head home. Alright, so here is the actual hat that we're going to modify. As you can see, the specs are kind of like folded in when they're really supposed to be standing upwards like that. So we actually have one of the parts of the specs. This was the sample. So this part's just gonna really go on here. It's really gonna make the hat pop a little bit more. I'm probably gonna raise the bottom spec up by a lot so then the hat can really stick up more. If not, due to stability, I'll probably bring it down to the bottom. So yeah, and then we also have the crown piece here, which is also going to go on here. So this is also going to fit there. So I'll be getting the rest of the parts relatively soon, so then we can complete the whole entire hat. So let's get painting to these, because these are just made from the, it still looks like it has the 3D printed specs on it, the materials. So yeah, with that being said, let's get to the montage of actually painting the specs for that. So here's all of the equipment that we're going to be working with. We got some paint, we have the sandpaper that I got, and 2 gold paints, and a lot of pieces to deal with. So I'm gonna handle the prototypes last and work with the pieces I normally have. So we're doing the same thing as before, as painting them with top coats with primer white paint. This will kind of give me a structure to kind of work off of. And when I tell you that this project took longer than I expected, I thought it would take normally at least a day or 2 to put together, but I really underestimated this hat, so this is what's gonna be happening for the little while with all the white paint. So I did some painting off camera, and surprisingly, the specs actually look pretty good. I'm doing the back now, so just kind of waiting for that layer to dry. Same with that one. And then when I get all the specs, I'll put them on the hat. But that's basically the update with the first couple of specs. I'll see you guys when the specs are all done. Peace. This process really did take forever with the amount of specs that I had to paint and also the amount of pieces that I had. So it did take me quite a while to put them all together. But trust me, when you look at the difference between the prototype ones that I had, I also had to sand down the top parts as well, just to kind of smooth it out and give it a better structure to work with. This project did take a while since I had to go from painting to sanding and proceeding with the same procedure back and forth. Okay, so I have one of the pieces already painted. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. Also, the main reason why I have this mask on is because the paint, these bad boys, they smell like Sharpies. And they're like super strong to the point where I have to wear this on. So I'd rather keep this on just to be safe. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start painting this one. So let's go into it. As I mentioned before, this process did take me a while since I had to sand them off and then suddenly paint them. It was a whole procedure just going back and forth between sanding, painting, sanding, painting, sanding, painting. God, were my hands getting pretty tired after sanding them for a while. I painted some of the pieces, then I went back to other pieces, and it was just some things that I didn't miss, some things I kind of forgot to get out, so that's also why that this process did take a lot longer than expected.
I don't want to stay in here for too long because this smells so strong, stronger than Sharpie, so I gotta get this done fast.
So as I mentioned that this paint does smell pretty strong, just imagine Sharpie, but the smell's a lot more heavier. It didn't necessarily require for me to wear a mask, but I just really chose to for my own safety. But with the amount of coats that I had to put on these specs, it did take me quite a while. And honestly, looking at the difference between the prototype spec and the finalized spec paint, and the shine is awesome. Hey, so it's been a few days and I have been busy sanding and painting away off camera, and I almost have everything completed. Today is going to be the final day where I just finish everything. Everything has to get done because we're almost about a week away and the hat is barely finished. So yeah, let's hope we can just speed through this, and I'll let you see a bit of the results in between. So yeah, let's get this hat sorted out. Yeah. Honestly, this was a really tiring process between sanding and painting. I really can't stress that enough, but it did take me a while.
Okay, so I'm just in the middle of sanding this piece. It's one of the older pieces. Sanding this one off camera. And I'm gonna be honest, the amount of dust that's on my fingers, because I've switched sandpapers. So this is the nail file and this is the sponge. That's 600 grits. So I'm sanding this one, and this one's doing, like, the nail file is doing a lot more well. But can we just take a second to just recognize all the dust on my fingers? This is insane. The amount of dust that's from this thing alone, because I remember when I originally painted it, there was like a lot of paint glob. Because I wanted to fill like all the gaps, because like, again, these two were the beta ones. So when I sand all of these, imagine how much dust is going to be on my fingers. And yeah, I'm also wearing a mask to just protect myself, so yeah, let's... there's so much dust.
I really want to take a second to just look at the amount of dust that's on my fingers. There was a lot.
Okay, so I'm officially done sanding everything. This is the aftermath. There's a lot, and there's even a lot on my fingers too, on the back of my nails too. It's really dusty in here, so I'm probably gonna just clean up a bit, change out the paper towels for new ones, and then I'm gonna finally start painting all of the pieces. This is it. The hat's gonna be done. This is currently the aftermath of all of the sanding. There's a lot of dust, and there's a lot of like extra dust here too on the table, so we got a lot more left to do, and then we finally start painting all these.
As I mentioned in a previous clip before, I did a lot of painting off camera. This was also due to timing and me trying to finish the hat in time. So here are what the most finalized specs look like. I did end up polishing everything, but this is what it all looks like. Pretty shiny and pretty well done. So after I finished painting it off camera, I actually had my sister wear the hat. While I kind of adjusted where the bow was placed, since it kind of was in a different spot than intended. So I kind of just had her sit still, or at least tried, and then I adjusted the bow to where it's supposed to be placed. So yeah, that's where that bow went.
Alright, so I'm practically almost done everything. All I just have to really fix is the hat pieces, so I'm gonna start blow drying it so all of these pieces can come off hopefully without leaving any residue. So yeah, I'm probably gonna leave the gems. The gems can stay since they're fine. It's just these top pieces that have to be removed. So let's get to removing them, and let's hope that we can actually fix the hat properly. Give me up my hairdryer. Let's hope we can at least take this off. I'll start with this one. This one's coming off a lot, so...
Now, this was another process that I did off camera, but here's the station that we're really working with. It was a lot to handle, but I did get a decent amount off, and this is what the hat looks like with all of the older pieces taken off. I'm kind of disappointed that I couldn't remove as much as I could, but what we just have to do is glue the specs onto the hat. I'm gonna take a break because I'm tired. Alright, so it's another day, and you might be wondering, why does your glue gun have a gold, glittery tint? You see...
Liz.
Well, I'm going to. I've already accepted my loss. I'm just here. I'm just here for the memes. I'm just here so I don't get fined. You know. No, honestly.
So here's what the hat looks like so far. I need to make the top. Oh no. Well, it's in the process of me gluing the pieces onto the hat, which does look pretty good. Furina does have these specs on the top of her hat and the design. This is to go on the back of the hat. And I don't have time to 3D print anything. I might have to resort to using paper on the hat. Yeah, this part I really had to speed do. Since I really found an old tissue box, I kind of took that tissue box.
So this is our lovely progress on the hat. We got the hat pieces on here. Probably going to paint them now in their respective spots. So then I can put it on the hat. Yeah. It's been a bit. This is the progress on the hat. We got this one already finished. We just got to cut out that portion. We got those two pieces done. We just have to cut out the wings, and my wrist is like in a little bit of pain, so I might give it a rest for now, but I think we'll be good.
This process was honestly a lot more harder for me to deal with after painting it. I had to actually go in with a thinner brush and kind of clean up and touch up the edges. So once when all of the edges were kind of finalized, I decided to finally glue the top parts onto the hat. This part though did make me really nervous, since there was a lot of precision that I had to do and some stuff that I had to polish. So it took a lot of painting and gluing, and I was really careful here until, well, we'll see what happens down the line, but I just glued everything down.
Okay, so this is the last piece that's missing. So let's glue the final piece on, and then the hat, after a week, is finally finished. There's a lot of hot glue. Alright, we glued the last piece. After like... Yeah, we're finished.
Finally, after a week and a half, the hat was done. Honestly, the hat does look pretty good, and I'm surprised with how well it turned out. The 3D printed specs stand out a lot more better than how the actual flat specs that I got originally, but overall, the process was really fun and challenging. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the hot glue gun that I worked with? Yeah, be careful, because I got burned. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Crafty Cosplays. We'll see you guys at Toronto Comic Con coming soon.